How's it going, everybody? I'm Steve, and welcome back to my channel. So I've been sick recently. You can tell in my voice I'm still kind of recovering from like the flu and having all kinds of issues with my sinuses. Finally stopped raining here in Indianapolis, so I'm able to kind of do a video tonight. And so let's get right to it here. So I actually have 8 titles I want to talk about from what I picked up in the month of April. Actually 3 of them are Criterions. But before I get to those, I'll leave the spine numbers for those, but I'm not gonna number any of these. You'll just see I've got technically eight boxes basically, but technically it'd be 9 movies. But this first one was one that I actually checked out from the library just about 3 weeks ago, and it's a movie I've always wanted to see, and it's like 91 years old, and it's from 1933, and the movie is King Kong. This is a movie, like I said, I couldn't believe this. I forgot that they would have stop motion in it, even though it makes sense that they would have stop motion then. 91 years ago, they wouldn't have had any kind of technology, and nothing would have been created then to have an ape suit, that kind of thing. It wasn't even thought of at that time. So you kind of have to appreciate it for what it is, and the movie's really groundbreaking. I'm just going to basically, one director is Marion Cooper. I'm not even going to mention the other director, but the special effects were done by Willis O'Brien, and I think he did a great job. He's really influential. On the commentary for this, Ray Harryhausen actually said he was like 13 years old when he saw this movie originally, and his mom and his aunt took him to see it, and it changed his life. Obviously, he later did Jason and the Argonauts and did a lot of stop motion animation. But he does a commentary on this, and obviously you have Fay Wray. She was already kind of a star, I think, at the time, but this is what she's best known for. Obviously, the woman that the King Kong is holding at the top of the Empire State Building, and then obviously Robert Armstrong is also in this. But yeah, I enjoy this a lot. I actually kind of wondered if it would be a silent movie. I didn't even know, because it's really close to the talkie era of cinema, so it's really close to that. And so I enjoyed this one a lot, and I'm glad I bought it. After I saw it on DVD, I thought I've got to buy the Blu-ray. And this Blu-ray I got from Bull Moose, the name of the company, and it's a Warner archive, and it has tons of special features. Like I said, it has a commentary. You can watch hours watching behind the scenes, a lot of stuff with Peter Jackson, because it was done right around the time that Peter Jackson did the King Kong movie in 2005. So I think it's well worth buying. Okay, so now we're getting into the Criterions. This is one I've wanted to see for so long. So many people on YouTube have told me about this movie, and so I was dying to see it. But this movie is from 1945. It's spine number 860, and the movie is Mildred Pierce. This is starring Joan Crawford. Couldn't believe how great she is in this movie. She won an Oscar for this. As I was watching it, I was like, she's giving a great performance, and then I found out that she won an Oscar for this performance, and I think she won like 2 Oscars. Really impressive. It has some great special features on this, on the Criterion, and it talks about how she kind of made her career. She earned it, really. There's some backstory on her too, of how she raised her children, which is kind of unfortunate, but she won like 2 Oscars, and she only had like a 6th grade education, so it's amazing what she did with her career. Okay, so the next movie is also a Criterion. It's from 1938. This is spine number 1009, one I've wanted to see since I saw Bringing Up Baby last year. The movie is Holiday. It's starring Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant. I like them so much, that performance with those two in Bringing Up Baby, which was actually released the same year, earlier in 1938, and this one was after. This one is actually like a remake of I think a 1930 film, which that film is also on this as well. But I think it's so much better with Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant. I think they're just such a great team. I think they may have worked together a few more times after this, possibly. But I thought they were really great on screen, and I loved it. I really recommend people check this out with Criterion. Okay, so the next movie here is also a Criterion. This is from 1986, spine number 107. And the movie is Mona Lisa. This one, it's from director Neil Jordan. It's one I'd wanted to see for quite a while. I saw it at a Half Price Books one day, and it's starring Bob Hoskins, the late Bob Hoskins, Kathy Tyson as the late Robbie Coltrane. If you've seen like the Harry Potter movies, he's from those. and it also has Michael Caine, whom has retired from acting now. So it was great to see them at this time when they were a little bit younger. It takes place in England. Um, it's one I like I said, it was really interesting, kind of a dark story, some humor in it as well. With Bob Hoskins, you're definitely going to get some humor in his movies, but I enjoyed it. I'd really recommend people check it out on Criterion. Okay, so the fifth title here is actually from 1994, so it's the 30th anniversary. It's from the director James Cameron, and the movie is True Lies. This one, if you saw my digital code giveaway on Saturday night, I had this movie already. This one is some people have complained about the transfer. I think the Blu-ray and the 4K look very similar to me. You can definitely tell with the in the HDR, you can definitely tell the stunt double that Arnold Schwarzenegger used because it looks so much. You can see it so much more in high def, and with that kind of resolution. And I guess they had like I think the stunt person on the horse, I think, fell off the horse at one time. And they didn't want Arnold getting on the horse, so they had to use a double quite a bit. So you can definitely tell it. But overall, I've always liked this movie. I had it on a bootleg before for a Blu-ray bootleg, and I think this one's a big improvement over that. A lot of people had it on DVD before. I've been told that the DVD it looks a lot better than that. So for me, this movie, I think it's maybe a little too long. It's like 2 hours and 20 minutes, but it's maybe not one of the highest ranked ones that I've seen from James Cameron, but I think it's definitely worth buying. Okay, so the sixth title in this haul is one I saw in 2023. I actually, if you saw the digital code giveaway on Saturday night, you know what this is as well. But the movie is The Iron Claw. This one is about the Von Erich family and wrestling. Very tragic story about the family. Zac Efron's in this movie. I'm not a huge fan of him as an actor, but I thought he's really great in this role. And he plays Kevin Von Erich, and has obviously the brothers. Jeremy Allen White. If you watch a lot of television, he's won a ton of Emmys. If you've seen that, also has Lily James. I thought she's really good in this movie. Kevin Von Erich, like I said, he's had to deal with so much tragedy in his life, and he actually turned his life around quite a bit just by basically growing his family. And he has several children. He lives in Hawaii and has several grandchildren, and they all live on his ranch there. So he embraces family because thankfully he hasn't had a lot of tragedy since his father and brothers, all the stuff that happened with them. But if you're a fan of wrestling, I think you definitely have to check this out. But I think anybody, just if you like a good heartwarming story, even though like I said, it's tragic, from A24, but I'd still recommend people check it out. Okay, so this seventh title is actually it's really nostalgia for me. Stuff I loved when I was in my late teens. This actually has two films included for 1989 and 1991. But the movies are Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bogus Journey. With these, I had these on the Walmart. If you saw before, I think they were on like one disc before for like $10 at Walmart, where you got the two movies and no special features at all. And that really disappointed me. I wanted more than just the movies, and so I decided to buy this. It's from Shout Select, and it has it's actually 4 commentaries and tons of special features. So I enjoy this one so much more. I'm not a huge fan of the third movie in this franchise, but because I like these two when they were in their teens and having fun, that kind of stuff. So that's why I enjoyed it, because it's stuff, like I said, nostalgia for me. So, but I definitely recommend people check this out from Shout Select. So this last title was actually one that I'd seen before. I had only seen the extended version, the 2 hour and 26 minute cut of the movie. And I watched it like a month ago again after so many years. It's probably the weakest film from this classic director. It's from Steven Spielberg from 1979. The movie is 1941. This movie's really interesting. And like I said, I had never seen the theatrical cut of this movie until I bought this, and I got it from Groove.com. First time I've ever ordered from them. And just like the first title, I ordered from Bull Moose, which I'd never ordered from them before either. But this movie, I thought the 2 hour cut, the theatrical cut, was so much better than the extended cut because it's the pacing so much better. I think that this movie was written by Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis, and Spielberg had worked with them before he was the executive producer on I Want to Hold Your Hand. If you have that on Criterion, he worked with them before. So they had written this story. It's basically about just, I don't want to give it away, but it's Japanese during World War II, that whole thing. But it's funny. It's just really slapsticky. There's so many faces. It really just this movie's like 45 years old now, and just to see all the faces of people that have passed away since this movie was made, I think it's well worth getting the movie just for that. And it has obviously it has a John Belushi, and it has a Dan Aykroyd, it has a Ned Beatty's in it. It has a Slim Pickens. He kind of does a parody of his role from Dr. Strangelove, Major King Kong. He does kind of a parody of that. It has a lot of actors that were in the original Jaws, like the woman that swims in the beginning of the movie. They do a parody of that, sort of with a submarine, that kind of thing. But like I said, just to see all these, Christopher Lee's in it. It has a Mifune. He's worked with Akira Kurosawa in a lot of films. He plays like a Japanese captain, or he's in charge of the submarine. But so like I said, the editing's really chaotic in this, but I thought it worked so much better in the 2-hour cut than it did in the longer version. But if you're a fan of Spielberg, I definitely recommend you check this out. Okay, thank you for watching tonight. I'm glad I finally got this video done. It says my voice is still kind of coming back, but I didn't want to wait too much longer because this is about the April haul, and I wanted to get this out by by May 1st. So, but if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Please put a thumbs up on this video. It definitely helps with the YouTube algorithm. And have a great one. Thank you. Bye.